Anxiety is a pretty common feeling in our lives. For some, it's more fleeting, like worrying about that test you have tomorrow. But for others, it's an everyday thing you have to manage.
And unfortunately, it looks like it's only increasing.
A 2017 study estimated that over 795 million people had some form of mental health disorder. That's more than 1 in 10 people globally. That includes depression, eating disorders,
and anxiety disorder. Think about that. That estimate was before the pandemic. The numbers have skyrocketed, especially in young adults and teens.
A newer 2021 study suggests that number is now 4 out of every 10 people who have developed symptoms of these disorders.
I've battled with extreme anxiety in the past, and a little later on in this video, I'll show you the same techniques I've been using to combat it for years. I'll also explain why I've been doing this one particular habit for the last 25 years. But first, what is anxiety? And what are some of the results from having it?
Well, anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an upcoming event or something with an uncertain outcome.
Anxiety is a normal human emotion, and we all handle it differently. My household can get pretty chaotic with 3 kids, 2 dogs, and just 1 adult.
I try to embrace the chaos, but over the years I've formed these habits that I'll do throughout the day when I become anxious.
These are tall tale signs for people who know me that I am stressed out.
My kids in particular will usually notice and make comments like, "Dad's pulling his hair again, maybe we should stop." Nah. Now, most of the time I don't even notice that I'm doing these habits. Things like biting my nails or I crack my neck.
But by far the oddest habit, and the one that I do the most, is playing with paper.
I don't know why I started doing it, but for the last 25 years, not a single day has gone by where I haven't had a piece of paper in my hand. Usually it's a straw wrapper, and I have different stashes everywhere. Throughout my house, in my car, and when we go out to eat, everyone in my family passes me their straw wrappers. Yeah, it's really weird. I think it stems from when I was a little kid. I liked rubbing the end of my pillowcases on my arms and face, and it calmed me down back then. I actually remember when I was like 5 or 6, and I snuck downstairs at my grandparents' house. The adults were watching the movie Aliens on TV, and I was terrified, and I was just standing up at the top of the stairs watching. And after a couple minutes, I remember running back upstairs and hiding under the covers with my pillow, probably rubbing the pillowcase on my face.
So I have to ask, do you know anyone else who rubs themselves with paper throughout the day? Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments down below if you have this habit or another odd one. I think it's great to share things with a community that you might not feel comfortable sharing with your friends or your family. And you might just be surprised when you find out that someone else is dealing with the exact same thing as you. And that honestly can be really encouraging. So how about we talk about some of the more positive things that you can do throughout the day to combat stress and anxiety.
It's no surprise that exercise is one of the best ways to manage your anxiety. But up to this point in my life, working out has never been fun for me.
To be honest, I dread doing it.
I envy the people who can get up early in the morning and hit the gym with a smile on their face, or go for a 10-mile run like it's no big deal. I want to get to the point where I enjoy exercise, but that's for another day and another video.
In the meantime, there's another option, and that's taking a walk or a hike.
Some psychologists suggest that as little as 10 minutes of walking might be just as good at relieving stress as a 45-minute workout. Did I read that right? That's actually really good. The other benefits from taking a walk outside is just being out in nature and getting natural sunlight. Sunlight is another great way to combat stress and anxiety. Sunlight triggers the release of a chemical called serotonin, and serotonin is extremely important for regulating your mood, and just getting outside can help increase it.
It's the age-old question, are you a dog person or are you a cat person?
When it comes to helping anxiety, it doesn't matter. Pretty much any pet can make a huge difference with improving your mental health. I have my kids every other week, so on the weeks that I don't have them, it can get pretty quiet. Chase and Cody are my best buddies during this time. They get me outside for long walks, they keep me entertained with their wrestling, and they wake me up with wet kisses.
I really don't think you need data to prove it. I mean, life is just better with pets. But if you do need more convincing, take a look at this.
85 million households have pets in them, and 79% of those households report less stress. In a world that always seems to be judging us, it's pretty nice to have that unconditional love from your pets. I'm the kind of person who needs a shower every single day. My kids notice I'm in a bad mood, they'll usually ask, "Have you showered yet today, Dad?"
So I was curious, what is it about a shower or a bath that helps us relax?
There's actually a lot of studies out there on how temperature fluctuations can make a huge impact on our mood, concentration, and so much more. Cold therapy, like ice baths, have been used for centuries, and cold showers have become all of the rage thanks to Wim Hof, who's known as the Iceman.
But that doesn't mean you need to take a cold shower to get the same benefits. You could also take a hot one.
Just the act of leaving a hot shower or bath can decrease your core temperature by a couple of degrees. That happens as soon as the cooler room temperature hits your body, and it's that drop that causes you to relax. The hot water increases blood circulation, while the temperature drop helps to reduce inflammation. So if you can, go take a shower or a bath. It gives you a reason to step away and clear your mind, and possibly come up with a solution to the problem or the situation you're dealing with.
So, if you've enjoyed this list so far, be sure to hit the like button below. And while your cursor is down there, consider hitting the subscribe button too. It's free and you can always change your mind.
The 5-5-5 breathing rule is probably the most useful technique I've learned to help regulate stress. It can be a lifesaver when you're in a moment or situation you can't get out of and you need to calm yourself down.
As a parent, that's huge. Controlled breathing can help in a lot of situations that aren't just related to anxiety. Okay, let me paint a picture.
Imagine you're driving your car on the highway, and one of your kids won't stop crying or screaming. Or two of them are fighting with each other because one of their devices has just died and the other one is still working.
Yeah, it's completely hypothetical.
The worst thing you could do in this situation is let your emotions get the best of you. I mean, you're driving a car.
So that's where breathing comes in.
You might not be able to control the situation, but you can control yourself and your breathing.
Here's how it works.
Breathing long and slow sends a message to your brain to calm down and relax. You take in more oxygen and your heart rate lowers. And everything starts to slow down.
Deep breathing can also lower your blood pressure and may ease headache and migraine symptoms.
So if you've never meditated before and aren't interested, trying this breathing technique for a couple of minutes can be really helpful.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. How can cleaning help with anxiety? Well, for me, cleaning is one of the first things I do when I'm stressed out. I can't control everything in my life, so instead I latch on to something that I can control.
Whether that's vacuuming, mopping, cleaning the toilets, or just decluttering a space, it's one of my favorite ways to calm down. I just pop my iPods in, turn on some music, and just go. Wiping my kitchen counters is my specialty. I do realize that sounds crazy.
But I looked it up, and there is a relationship between improved mental health and cleaning.
The physical act of cleaning and the end result of feeling accomplished does help with anxiety and depression.
It also results in a cleaner house, so it's a win-win. Now, these were just a few ways that I try to combat anxiety. But I want to hear from you. When you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, how do you cope with it? Do you have any useful techniques or bad habits that you fall into during these moments? Make sure to leave a comment below. But all of these techniques that we just talked about don't matter if you're not getting good sleep. The kind of sleep that when you wake up, you're ready to take on the world. So if you're not getting that kind of sleep, check out this video here, where I spent days researching and doing trial and error to find the most useful techniques to get the best sleep of your life. Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you later.